Good. Good. Nice composure, good. Two underneath when he leans on you, don't give him time.
Terence Crawford visits Anthony Joshua's training camp ahead of the Jake Paul fight, sparking major buzz across the boxing world. Crawford closely observes Joshua's sessions and spends time studying his work. Their interaction highlights how seriously Joshua is preparing, surrounding himself with elite boxing minds to sharpen his performance. The presence of a pound-for-pound star adds extra intensity and focus to Joshua's camp as fight night draws closer.
Every fighter is a good fighter, and each individual, uses different things and finds out different ways to keep them occupied and keep them happy. And for me, it was just like...
Anthony Joshua constantly seeks new experiences and fresh insight from every fighter he meets, absorbing elements from each style he encounters. He values learning from different minds and applies every lesson to refine his own approach. This mindset allows him to keep evolving, becoming stronger and more complete with every training camp. Anthony Joshua pushes himself through intense training sessions built to strengthen his body and sharpen his reactions. He relies on deep ice baths to manage inflammation and speed up recovery, allowing him to attack every workout at full capacity. Once recovered, he moves straight into demanding drills that test his power, speed, and mental focus. Every element of this routine reflects his commitment to preparing at the highest level.
A little bit of a feeling out first round for AJ too. Then Jake wins to me. And I know that sounds like, but it's true, bro. AJ shouldn't be going rounds with Jake. He just shouldn't. That's a two-time world champion. You know what I'm saying?
Olympic gold medalist, yeah.
Two-time world champion. You shouldn't be going rounds with Jake. Jake hasn't fought anybody. I mean, I don't know where they currently rank Tommy Fury, but he hasn't fought anybody in the top 50 in any weight division he's participated. So if that guy's going 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds with you,
cooked.
But I think if you're putting money on it, I would say AJ round three maybe.
Yeah, I'd say
2 or 3. Everybody's kind of jumping on the AJ round 2, and I'm like, Jake's tough. Could he use his feet for a little bit longer than people imagine? Is it going to be tougher for AJ to land on him early, maybe? But I think at a certain point, the cat corrals the mouse a little bit. But we'll see, dude. Who knows? Jake's got some good guys in camp. He brought in Lawrence Okolie. Big Lawrence Okolie now too. Do you see him?
I remember being in Dubai like 3 years ago. 3 years ago. Do you remember 3 years ago when we were? Oh yeah, commentated. Yeah, for Deji vs Merva. And funny enough from that fight week, Jake Paul and I hung out, went shooting with AJ. I think like laser tag of AJ. 3 years ago. 3 years ago on the same week.
That entire week now is like coming to full fruition. It was here in Dubai. It was Jake on commentary. First time I had met Jake. Talking shit to Tommy Fury. Lawrence Okolie was on commentary with me, and I was like, "How are you a cruiserweight?" Because at that time he was still a cruiserweight, and I was like, "How the fuck are you a cruiserweight? You're massive." And sure enough, now he's like 265-pound heavyweight. He's way too big, by the way. But he's got Lawrence and Cam.
Wade Plemons, the combat sports analyst, offers a firm perspective on how Anthony Joshua should approach Jake Paul. According to him, this is not a fight where Joshua needs to feel things out or extend the action for entertainment. Wade emphasizes that Joshua should deal with the situation decisively, without allowing the bout to drift into unnecessary rounds. His reasoning is straightforward: a heavyweight with Joshua's resume and reputation cannot afford to give Jake Paul extra time in the ring. Wade notes that dragging the fight out would raise unnecessary questions and could even damage Joshua's image. Instead, he believes Joshua should finish the job early to protect his standing in the sport. With attention coming from both casual viewers and influencer boxing fans, Wade argues that Joshua must set the tone from the opening bell. He has the size, experience, and power advantage, and Wade insists the cleanest way to handle this assignment is with a quick, clear finish.
Creative, right?
Anthony Joshua's training camp for the Jake Paul fight reflects a noticeably different approach from his usual preparations. Joshua, a former unified heavyweight world champion, is typically known for structured routines, detailed planning, and carefully controlled sparring environments. This camp, however, moves in a new direction for him. The intensity is higher, the pace is sharper, and the stylistic adjustments show clearly that he is not taking Jake Paul lightly.
Fundamentally, you're still living life as normal. You're not restricting yourself that much. You know, if you're eating 2 pieces of chicken, maybe you just eat a piece of... You see what I mean? You're not going to the extreme to try and actually dehydrate yourself or anything like that. So it's very different than having to actually hit a specific weight, all right? And to do that in a relatively short space of time, because this fight's, you know, not that long has it been announced, and it's not that long until the fight. It's only 2 weeks away. Eddie Hearn was talking about AJ weighing 265 a couple of days ago. So you're thinking, okay, 20 pounds in 3 weeks? That's not ideal for someone who, again, is in their mid to late 30s, a year in activity, and crucially has never had to hit a specific weight throughout the course of his career. Never had to do it. All right. So it did have me kind of worrying a little bit and thinking, is this a miscalculation, accepting that? Because in terms of him fighting Jake Paul, he's going to win. I mean, there's no ifs about it. He's going to win this fight. It's pretty much a given. Right? But it did have me wondering. Now, AJ, as I said, he took to his social media accounts to show that he's currently weighing 110.6 kg, which is around about 243 US pounds. So that's well under the weight limit. So a lot of people are saying, slam dunk, it's done. Well, I got a few questions on that, because you do have to ask these questions. You're talking about Anthony Joshua, who over the course of the last, 3 years has been solid in the 250s. Hasn't weighed sub 240 or sub 250 since he fought Usyk 3 years ago. And bear in mind, he would have went into camp fully intending to be mobile, speed. He would have spent 3, maybe 4 months working on, you know, what's an ideal weight for that, working on this, that, and the other. So it's not like, you know, a crash diet for the Usyk fight or anything like that. And AJ is someone who loves the resistance training. That seems to be the main thing that he does. And outside of camp, you know, he probably would have thought he was fighting Cassius Chaney, which is the name that
Anthony Joshua revealing his weight at around 110 kilograms, or roughly 243 pounds, quickly became a major talking point. For most of his career, Joshua never needed to make dramatic weight adjustments, consistently competing within a comfortable range that suited his style. This time, however, it became clear that he had cut close to 20 pounds in a short period, raising concerns among analysts. Dropping that amount of weight at this stage of his career is complicated. Joshua is now in his mid-30s, and sharp weight cuts place far greater strain on the body than they did when he was younger. It can affect strength, recovery, hydration, and overall performance. The decision shows just how seriously he is taking the Jake Paul fight, but it also underlines the risks involved. While the reduced weight may improve his speed, it could also take away some of the natural power and physical presence that defined his career. Striking this balance becomes especially important against a lighter but active and energetic opponent. Joshua appears to be searching for a middle ground, light enough to move freely, yet heavy enough to preserve the strength that makes him dangerous.
And for me, he's found his limit now, found his level. So now he needs to look at his health and look at what he's got after boxing. And if he can make 50 mil, whatever he's making, to fight fucking in the clown world against the clown show, do you know what I mean? Then take the money, man. Yeah. Take it and go and live your life. I can't see AJ fighting for a world title again. I don't know who he fights and who he would beat and how he would get that desire back to become a world champion. But Eddie Hearn's got to sell it and try and say AJ is going to be world champ again. 3-time world champ, but I'm not buying any of that bullshit. I think AJ's had a great career. He's done massive things for professional boxing, and now he's at the end of his career and he's cashing out. And who can blame him? I'd do exactly the same at the end of my career. I'd fight fucking Jake Paul for mega money and then drop the mic and then go home. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not going to knock him for doing it.
As much as you say that his career is maybe done after this, he has obviously made the jump, left Ben Davison, gone to Usyk. Do you think that could maybe reignite a flame in AJ? Maybe change something that you might not believe is there at the moment?
No, he's too old. Too old. I've been 36, 37 years old, but I've never had 150 million quid in the bank. Do you know what I mean? And I think the combination of his age, the fact that he's been flattened a couple of times, and now he's making mega money. Why is he going to try and become a world champion again? He's got to train for 10 weeks and spar really hard sparring. And then he's got to get in the ring on Fight Night with 10-ounce gloves against somebody like Dubois, or he's not going to fight Usyk again. Maybe he sticks around and fights Tyson Fury, because that's another commercial mega fight, which is actually fighting somebody who's on the same level.
Carl Froch, the former super middleweight world champion known for his blunt honesty, shares his view on why a Jake Paul fight could make sense for Anthony Joshua. Froch believes Joshua is entering the later stage of his career, having already checked off nearly every major achievement, world titles, stadium bouts, and massive pay-per-view events. In Froch's opinion, there are very few meaningful fights left for Joshua that have not already taken place. From that perspective, accepting a bout with Jake Paul is not a bad career move. He sees it as Joshua securing a huge payday while still attracting global attention. Froch also raises the possibility of a future fight with Tyson Fury, which would remain one of the biggest events in boxing history if it finally happens. Beyond that, Froch feels Joshua may not have much left to chase in the sport. He does not criticize Joshua's decision, instead framing it as a smart financial move at the right time. Froch believes fighters must seize the opportunities available to them, and with Joshua's legendary resume already established, this fight is more about business and entertainment than legacy.
I'm stuck in between. Because nobody on this green earth would actually turn down 50, 60 million to fight Jake Paul. And people that don't like this will probably watch it because they want to see Jake Paul getting knocked out. So what does it say about AJ and what does it say about Jake Paul? I think I was thinking upside down. For AJ, I thought, Mama's cashing out. He's cashing out because he's going down this mimic line. But I thought, in reality, is he? Realistically, he's thinking, you know what, this big mouth YouTuber stroke boxer has the cheek to call me out. I'd be pissed off at that, if I'm honest with you. I'd be upset if I was AJ, thinking, that's disrespect, man. You think you can deal with me? But he didn't. AJ was jovial and he commended Jake Paul's business acumen, saying, we've sat down, the deal's been done. But still, it just leaves an odd taste in your mouth. So as long as AJ gets the job done, and I mean gets the job done, shows his world-class pedigree, and wipes this boy out, then everybody's happy. But how does it enhance his career? The only way it enhances his career is financially. That's it. No other way. There's no props from beating Jake Paul, apart from saying, thank God you shut him up. For Jake Paul now, I got to give this boy props, because he now has our attention and the whole world is talking about Jake Paul. I want to say a big thanks to our sponsors, Bet Goodwin, for supporting that boxing show. Now, if you're interested in having a little flutter, or as I call it after my dad, Benji's Bets, Bet Goodwin's the place to be. Check out Bet Goodwin using the QR code on the screen. I'm probably all right. I'm probably 90% thinking the fight's going to happen. But I'm struggling. I'm thinking, this boy can't be so stupid. But then you hear a whisper. You hear a whisper that Jake Paul himself might be cashing out. Because the big purses that he's pulling, fighting these has-beens or ex-fighters, they're dropping slowly but surely. So maybe, just maybe, this might be his last fight. Getting in there with Anthony Joshua and getting knocked out. But there's always that conspiracy theory. Are there some contract agreements that can and cannot be done, which will never see the light of day, that we don't know about? Well, if you're an ex-fighter, and if you like the fight...
Johnny Nelson, the former cruiserweight world champion and respected Sky Sports analyst, offers a very different perspective on this fight. While much of the discussion centers on what Anthony Joshua needs to do, Nelson focuses on what could happen to Jake Paul if things go wrong. He voices genuine concern that Jake could face a harsh outcome if he absorbs heavy shots from someone with Joshua's size and punching ability. Nelson acknowledges that Jake Paul has improved significantly since stepping into boxing, but facing a former heavyweight champion represents an entirely different level. Heavyweight power, he explains, is unlike anything Jake has encountered before. Nelson warns that one bad moment in this fight could have serious consequences for Jake's health and long-term career.
Way bigger heavyweights like Jared Anderson, Frank Sanchez, and Lawrence Okolie. Okolie is like 6'4.5", 6'5", and these guys are like 6'3", 6'4", probably. So now Jake Paul is the one that's smaller. So first of all, I will give credit to Jake Paul. Clearly, he's a person who is taking his career seriously. These are quality sparring. I mean, a real boxer, because people say he's not a real boxer, but a real boxer would be using the same guys in their sparring camp. In fact, I just told you Joshua used Lawrence Okolie. I don't know if he sparred with Anderson or Frank Sanchez, but these are all regular ranked heavyweights. So credit to Jake Paul for that. And I mean, he's going to need it. Joshua is a different breed to, like, a Mike Perry when it comes to boxing. Different frame, different size. In case you didn't believe me, right? Jake Paul, this is what MVP Promotions posted. So Jake Paul top sparring, right? Heavyweights. And here's some pictures of Joshua with Lawrence Okoli. And again, Joshua, a big dude, but you see Lawrence Okoli, and he probably was cruiserweight back then. I mean, I don't know exactly when this picture was taken, but he's only like an inch shorter than Anthony Joshua. And now, as he's moved up to the full heavyweight, he has filled out more. You see, he looks even bigger than when he was a cruiserweight. Now, I got to research it, but I want to say I thought Lawrence Okoli was injured.
Jared Anderson, one of America's rising heavyweight stars known for his explosive power and relentless pace, plays a key role in Anthony Joshua's preparation. Anderson is young, aggressive, and maintains a high tempo that keeps Joshua alert at all times. Sparring with a fighter who applies constant pressure helps Joshua react faster and sharpen his defensive instincts. Anderson exposes every weakness during their sessions, slow reactions are punished, and mistakes are highlighted immediately. This approach ensures Joshua is ready for any surprises Jake Paul might bring. Even though Jake is smaller, training against someone like Anderson enhances reflexes and timing, giving Joshua greater confidence in the ring.
Anthony Joshua takes the fight against Jake Paul. Anthony Joshua at the press conference gets asked his opinion of Francis not taking the fight against Jake Paul. And Joshua's like, he's an idiot. He's an idiot. There is no reason for him to not take this match. I cannot be and am not mad at Francis. I can't be. Like rules would preclude me from being upset with Francis. I'm not a big Francis fan. Francis fan. I'm not a Francis supporter. So I want to hurt Francis. I want to do something to hurt him. Well, his own actions took $10 million out of his bank account, of which, by the way, could use $10 million. So I can't be mad at him. If I teased him, and by God, get in there and he go, oh my gosh, I heard Shale and I heard from all the Eagles and what was I thinking? And Joshua's out and this is my chance of redemption. Hey, put me in, Jake. That would then help him. That would be positive for Francis. That would create envy as well as jealousy from outside observers like me. But I will tell you, trying to break down and understand how we got to this conclusion is mind-boggling. You ever met a writer? Your whole life, have you ever met a writer? Maybe went to college for it and they're a writer. Do you want to know the hardest thing in the world that person's going to have to do to make money? Find somebody to pay them to write.
Anthony Joshua recently commented on Francis Ngannou turning down the chance to fight Jake Paul, calling it a questionable financial decision. Joshua noted that in boxing, fighters rarely receive offers of that magnitude, especially those not firmly established in the sport. Passing up such an opportunity could mean missing a payday that may never come again. Chael Sonnen, former UFC star and one of MMA's most outspoken analysts, agreed. Sonnen emphasized that Ngannou should have taken the fight, given the significant and unique financial reward. He also pointed out that Jake Paul's bouts provide exposure and earnings that fighters from outside boxing rarely encounter.